Welcome to another episode of Recovering Addict. I'm LT, your host, and I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Jake. I'm a recovering substance user.
Absolutely. We've been there. We've done that. We got some time under our belt and we've been through trials and tribulations and we still go through the same crap, right? So what this channel is if you're a first time watcher, is a show about recovery, addiction to recovery, education on recovery. Formats are going to constantly evolve and change on this channel. We go through books, we interview people, and sometimes we just have free for all talk nights. But tonight is a Thursday night and this was normally Jake and Felice's show as we were transitioning into having Jake take it over completely. And we still are. However it evolves, whatever that looks like, we just go with the flow. But that's kind of what you're seeing tonight. Jake's on the show. He's going to lead us through a book called
The Connected Child.
The Connected Child, which is pretty cool because it's going in line with the book we've been going through growing up. What's it called? It'll Never Happen to Me, growing up as an adolescent with, addicted parents or a parent or a loved one and some of the trauma that we experience. And so this is The Connected Child. This is kind of going down that same path of psychology. And what leads to a lot of us to addiction is trying to numb ourselves and get through those times. And so that's kind of what we're doing. 2 times in my life, I've hit rock bottom. In the early 2000s, I was a meth addict, tweaker. Got the craziest war stories, just like the rest of you, that I could sit here all day and share and fantasize about, but it got me nowhere but a felony, and I locked up for a year and 3 years probation, and that was about it. Didn't realize that I was an addict. Scared me straight, basically. I got responsible, got a good job, only quit smoking weed after I got off probation to pass a drug test for a job. And then in my early 30s, I started casually drinking. That casual drinking led me into a fifth of night whiskey blackout drunk by the time I turned 40. Had to check into a detox center, spent some time in a couple of IOPs, and now I am here trying to just share the message back of what it's like to be there, done that, and to be in recovery. And during these crazy times, lockdowns, COVID, elections, riots, fires, we don't know what's going on. So, and just in general, to teach the world to be better people and live for today. I'll let Jake tell you a little bit about himself and what's up.
So I lifetime of trauma, whether it was abuse, physical, sexual, mental, emotional, substance abuse, definitely. Between the years of 2004 and 2012, I spent more time behind bars than I did out here in the world. And then my son was born. And spent a lot of time trying to stay sober there, trying to raise a family. It wasn't until 2017 that I entered counseling.
Sorry, John's got me laughing over here.
John's rude. That's rude. I was rude. Entered counseling and started getting really serious about health, found fitness and jiu-jitsu, and just developed my core belief system of holistic health, mind, body, and spirit.
Is that where you acquired the name Savage?
I sort of nicknamed myself, and then people ran with it, said that it was very fitting.
I could agree.
But that was sort of Goggins, because he was talking about being uncommon amongst the uncommon. Mm-hmm. And so it was just be savage amongst the savages. It was also Joe Rogan.
Very nice.
How we use that word all the time, but I just want to be a savage, so that's how I live my life.
I love it. Can you still hear me? I just turned one of the microphones down. Okay, just making sure I turn the right one down. Awesome. Well, I'm going to say what's up to everybody in the chat, and I'll pull them up on the screen so you can say hi as well. And the one and only, the Stallion, the Merkalicious Merkinator, the ones we made our bookmarks after, is the winner of tonight's first in line in the comments. And you know what? We did a little bit of creeping on Merk today. I ain't going to lie. We went through, there's a bookmark right there. We went through some of his Facebook page. We watched all his wood chopping videos, his beep kickers, and all were on full display, and we were very impressed. And we were as sad as you, Merk, about that piece of wood that could have been a great table. But Allie brought up a good point. It could still make a good, or no, you said a chair or something like that, right? And Allie said, well, it could still make a cool little table. So hopefully you didn't burn it. All right, next in line, who do we got? Mick Tizzle. Oh, that's me. And then we got Alicia, who unfortunately won't be here with us tonight. She is chairing a meeting in Oregon tonight. You know, that's a cool thing. I know we have a lot to say about Zoom meetings and, oh, I wish it was face-to-face, which I agree. Face-to-face is cool. You get to read people's body language. You're there. You get a high five and hug and all that kind of good stuff. But Alicia gets to hang out in Oregon tonight with a bunch of people who addicts are over there. You know, we got people in Australia, the UK, and all that kind of cool stuff here. I don't know. I'm digging the technology. So good job, Alicia, on that. Be safe and have fun. Even
Staying
though
connected.
Mark is betrayed, but that's okay. Look who is in the house. Big Hump.
Huh?
Big Hump.
Where you been, huh? Where you been?
Got John V in the house, making everybody happy and loving, giving us our good morning, evening, and afternoon, just like always. I love it. Big Hump is so grateful for us all in the Discord. There is much love everywhere. We're all a bunch of addicts, y'all. We all do the best we can. Some days we have good days. Some days we have bad days. Shit happens, right? We go up, we go down, but that's the things. We learn how to live life on life's terms and to just go with it, right? What's up, Amber? How are you doing tonight? Is that Amber. A new name or am I tripping?
Is what?
Is Amber new?
No. Yeah, I think earlier this week.
Oh, well, welcome back. Very much welcome. Marilyn, good to see you. So glad. Scott Love, day 3 or 4 for you. That's good because you're back in the active. You know, whatever, right? You're back and we love you. We're going to love you. Just like Rob said, we're going to love you until you learn to love yourself. We got Norman in the house. What's up, Norman? Tell your story. Whoa, what's up? What's up, sober team? Yeah, glad to have you here. And we got on the Facebook side, Christina. How do you say that?
Christy Wren.
Christy Wren? Wow, that's a cool name. Maldonado. Christy Wren Maldonado? Sorry, I probably butchered that, but I'm digging that name.
Maldonado.
Kathy Shelton. What's up? And the joke that got me laughing and totally distracted Jake from what was up. Oh, Jacqueline in the house. How's it going? How's your mom, Jackie? Let us know. Des, what's up with you? Hey, Des, what do you think about our comment in the chapter in Australia, mate? Hope all is well. Right on. Stay blessed. JB, good to see you. Glad you're here. Carla Bell in the house. Jeanette in the house. Good job. I'm glad y'all are here. This is cool. Glad you're here. Oh, she says, I am new from Philadelphia, 12/31/18. Wow, a couple years. There. She's about to hit 2 years. That's no joke. When you're about to hit 2 years, you know what that means. You've been there. You've had to go through some stuff, right? Your life has thrown things at you, and you've had to deal with it. And guess what? You stayed sober. After this COVID bullcrap is over, whatever that may look like, after these lockdowns are over, whatever that may look like, I swear I'm going to make T-shirts that said, I survived COVID, still sober. You can only have one if your sobriety date is before April of 2020. Something like that. You're very welcome. And my beautiful, lovely mother, the mother who brought me into this world 41 years ago, Talitha. Welcome to the show. Talitha's a name of a little girl in the Bible who was raised from the dead, FYI.
Did you have to think about how old you were?
Yeah, I was doing power.
Is that why you looked over, like doing some quick math?
Not only do I have to think about it, but the reality of it comes into play. Like today, I just got back from the gym, right before I sent you the link to this, and we were doing power cleans and we were doing Turkish get-ups, box jump burpees, and then I went to the bench at the end, and everything I did was like extremely painful. It's either because I'm 41 or I'm not drinking enough water. I don't know yet. Sober chick in the house. What's up?
Super girl.
Yeah.
Go back.
Kyle, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? Oh, we need to talk. We were supposed to talk with Kyle, and I never got
Damn it.
What do you... Oh, now we're looking up your nose.
There we go. I'm going to call this fucker.
Did you screenshot it?
I did.
Just like the rest of the world? PD Joyner, what's up? Sounds good, LT. You know me, not good at tech, but we'll see where it goes. Heck yeah, that's what I love. An attitude to give it a shot. I love it. I think I'm going to send you guys a Zoom meeting. I'm going to have a meeting with Des and all the.
Have Cherie be your tech girl.
I was thinking sober obs because that dude, he's got some technical skills. He flaunts about how
he does. I was just running my mouth.
Your mom has a beautiful name. God bless her. Mom, did you hear that?
Or
God
Brian.
Super busy. And Felice says she saw your boogers and it was gross. Anything else you want to add, or should we jump into the question of the Discord?
Question.
Yeah? We're going to hit that right now? 3 minutes early, but what the hell? All right, this is kind of a serious one. We got to talk about this. This gossiping shit's just, it's got to quit. It's got to stop. Right? So the question of the Discord isn't really so much a question, but it's like, hey, let's talk about it. John V, if you want to drop this in the link, you're more than welcome. But it's from Alicia, and then we're going to hit JV's question. So I'm glad we're a little bit early so that we can actually talk about these. I'm going to read Alicia's comment, and then we'll discuss it. Everybody jump into the comments with me. Let me know what you think about this. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard it. In the IOP I went to, we said this 5 days a week. Every single night when we closed it, right before we said the Serenity Prayer, we said, what you see here, who you see here, when you leave here, let it stay here, right? Means shut your mouth about what we're talking about in here because we're opening up our hearts. So Alicia says, can we talk about that? Our experience is our own to share, and we put ourselves in very vulnerable place when we share it. And it can be very hurtful to someone when you are hearing another person making comments in meetings or anything or any other platform these days, right? It's all over, especially when we try to do a Discord or a private Facebook group, when you're sharing your experiences in your life. And it's up to the individual person to share their own feelings and experiences, right? And it can be dangerous and damaging to somebody's sobriety. And she says, I say this from past experiences and out of love for everybody. Of course she does. She's amazing. Alicia is one of my icons that I look up to. And I agree. This gossip is, if you don't know the whole story, for one, shut your mouth. If it's somebody else's story, shut your mouth. You don't have to talk all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking all these words, but not really saying anything.
Yeah. I mean, if you walk into a conversation and the only thing you have to offer is talk about somebody else, you probably should just keep your mouth shut. From my experience with, at work where I used to work, I stopped gossiping. I was like, okay, I'm done gossiping because I was getting into criticism of the higher ups, this and that. And I was like, you know what, I'm done. And I found myself having a hard time being in a circle of people because I didn't have anything to talk about because all I ever did was talk about people. And not to mention like what it can do to harm other people, right? What do you think?
Yeah, just if it's not your business, don't share it. There's situations recently that people want to talk about stuff, and it's like, it's not my place to say anything to you about that. So I do try to keep that, not sharing other people's experience.
Confidentiality, right?
Yeah, confidentiality, the anonymity of the 12-step programs, it's important, plus we're trying to learn how to trust, trying to learn trust, in our addictions, we paranoid and didn't trust, lost trust, didn't trust. So that's part of the program. I feel like there was a divine guidance writing the big book, because it's just so much psychology in there, but then just so many simple lessons, life lessons to, just very simple rules to live by.
Yeah. I like what Tell Your Story said. If you hear something, listen to understand, not to respond. A lot of people do that. I mean, if you are there as a good listener, besides the gossip thing, right? And a lot of people will gossip in like, hey, I'm really concerned about this person. Will you pray for this person? Because, and then they spill everything that person's going through. And it's a form of gossip covered up trying to look good, right? Like you're trying to be a good person. Even that's not good. Hey, lift this person up in prayer. They're struggling. Zip it, right? But I like this. Listen to understand, not to respond. A lot of people, when you're talking to them, and you can tell these type of people, and it drives me nuts for some reason, but you're talking to them and they're not listening to a word you're saying. They're just waiting for their turn to talk, you know?
So that was Fight Club.
Oh, is that?
No, that's where my mind took. That's where it took my mind. Because Marla, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're not listening, waiting for their turn to talk.
Yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah, gossip, like Jake said, we're trying to learn to trust. Let's be trustworthy people, especially to our brothers and sisters, because that's what we are. We're recovery brothers and sisters, you know? We're in this together. We've gone through enough heartache. Let's not bring any more upon ourselves. Let's do the best we can for each other. Let's uphold each other. You know what I mean? Let's get past all that garbage. And then our second question is from JV, John Ventura Venture Forward himself. He says, can we talk about the importance of 6-month trigger point warning signs before a relapse and a high-level summary of what relapse plans look like? Coping skills, social support, consequences, especially when there are other addictions that are at risk as well. You want to take that one?
So like I don't know, for me, 6 months was a big deal. That's why I didn't claim any of my chips until this week, because I'd always seem to hit 6 months and then go on like a run for 2 or 3 days. Oh, okay, we're back to that. That's cool. So I would hit 6 months and relapse. So 9 months is a big deal. Like I knew 6 months was coming, and I dug in deeper, and I really feel like for me, 6 months was, I started life coaching at SOAR, started doing that manual study, started doing this with you, everything else, and it was all, that was my relapse prevention plan, and continuing to gather knowledge and cultivate skills and create a very, very strong lifestyle habits and nurture the healthy supports systems that I had in my life, so that if I was struggling, or like I had a random craving to go do a bunch of meth one day when I was at work. Ended up on the phone with a friend of mine for 2 hours, building toolboxes. She knows who she is, and I'm grateful for her, and, or like hell, this morning I sort of had the devil in my head. So I called my sponsor and then reached out to another one of our friends, so that to process it, to get it out, so that there wasn't space being occupied, so I could focus on my work. Because I've had some revelations this week. And so my relapse prevention plan is like grounded in self-awareness and the habits to use that self-awareness to prevent negative situations and emotions from continuing in my day.
Yeah, the 6-month trigger warnings. I would say watch out for complacency. If you start thinking you don't need to be up on your recovery, oh, dude, thank you so much. Jake, you're awesome. Thank you. 1111. Thank you,
Yeah.
bro. Thank you, John. Great question in the Discord as well. watch out for these trigger points, because at first you're riding that pink cloud everybody talks about. You're really super excited about recovery. And then all of a sudden, just like our emotions, they fade, right? Anything we get a brand new boat, we get a brand new car, brand new pair of shoes. Everything's fun and awesome for a minute, and then it just becomes blah. And in recovery, it can become like that too. And that can be a warning sign. And usually about the 6-month mark, that could happen. And so you need to do something to keep that recovery fresh in a sense. Press a little harder, even if it's, it's a discipline at that point. So watch out for complacency. If you don't think you need to go to a meeting or be involved in something that you regularly have been involved, that's a sign that you probably should. Your addict wants to take you back. I'm telling you, something at 6 months, 3 to 6 months is probably the toughest for me in my year of sobriety. It's when my mind was playing the most tricks on me, was still getting hit with back doors that weren't completely closed, and still thinking, oh, I could probably just go, that whole thousands, one's too many, a thousand's enough. But I always think, I could probably just sip on I'm good now, or I could be, you get that false pride even. Oh, I could be the DD. These high risk situations aren't going to affect me. I'm 6 months sober, and you think you're stronger than you actually really are. So that's another thing that you could be worried about.
Okay, I guess I might have misunderstood the question.
No, he just said the importance of 6 months trigger point warnings, about before a relapse, and which leads into his second question, a high level summary of what a relapse plan looks like. And the first thing I'm going to say about a relapse plan is you need to grab a pen and paper, put pen to paper, write it down, write down triggers. What triggers you? Write down who your support system is. Write down the back doors you intend to close. Write down your goals for the next year, the recovery process that you're going to take, and write it down. Write down what you're going to do if triggered. Write down who you're going to call in certain situations, and then have a plan. I would highlight this one. What are you going to do when you get hit with something you don't even think about yet? Because you're going to get hit with triggers that you haven't thought about. And you got to be prepared for the unpredictable. And you can kind of be prepared for those. Say if something unpredictable happens, I got, this tool in my belt, and I'm going to pull that one out. You know what I mean? So I would say write it down. And then once it's written down, get with a bunch of recovery people who've got years of sobriety and read it to them, so that they can find holes in it and give you some more advice and more things to write it down, and then put it on your fridge or somewhere you can read it daily, and then obtain those goals in that year. We did a relapse prevention plan here. We should probably do another one on a Zoom meeting. I think those are valuable.
Yeah, I like those. I did. I did one. I did one right after your write it down episode.
Yeah,
presented it in a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, we did. We did one too for a while back. We did. Maybe we'll do that again. I'll set us up a special relapse prevention plan. Anybody wants to get involved, write it down and bring it. You're welcome, John. Jeanette says, I think at certain times in recovery, triggers are healthy, and it's a way of your mind to remind you where you were and how far you came. Amen. And also that there is a point where you need to learn how to deal with our triggers. Yeah, that's a great positive way to look at a trigger, that it's a test. Not only is it a test, but a reminder of where we've been. I really like it. Good job.
Sometimes when I was feeling triggered, I'd get on the phone with a member of my support system and then walk through the shittiest parts of town to have that visual reminder of where I don't want to be, while having that support in my ear the whole time, not disconnecting the call until I was back safe at home.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just something that I would do. Or another one was I wrote down how I felt when I was using, and all of the negative emotions, all of that, and then my reasons for getting sober while I was high, like making that decision to stop. And then after, I wrote a list of all of the positive things that have come into my life since gaining sobriety. So when that craving would happen, I would read through the negative list to remind myself why. And then after the craving went away, I would reward myself with the positive list.
Talk about your real quick. I remember you mentioned, but talk about your cookie jar.
So it's not my cookie jar. I stole it from David Goggins, but he has this method where he will take successes and put them in a cookie jar. Like whether it's, figurative or literal, get a cookie jar, get a Post-its, and then every time you have a success, write it down on a Post-it or like log it away mentally. So when you're having a hard time, having a struggle, and you need that little bit of motivation, that little taste of success to push through and persevere, you just sort of reach in the cookie jar, pull one out, read it, or if you keep it mental, you just sort of like bring that memory back to where you did something. Like one of mine is when I graduated from college. My kids were there. My mom and dad were there. Like, because I didn't graduate from high school. I didn't get to wear the cap and gown. And I worked my ass off for 3 years to, graduate college, and was able to have that experience finally. So that was a success. The day that Drake was born was a success. So when I'm feeling down and out, I just remember those types of things.
The day a photograph you took became a profile picture.
Double photography points. Both of those. Both of them did it.
Oh, I love it. It's so awesome. Right on. We are getting at the 30 mark in our hour, and I'm going to read the just for today, and then we're going to let Jake jump into this book for us. I'm reading just for today. I usually read out of the 24-hour, but I dig just for today. And today is December 3rd, 2020, Vision Without Limits. It says, perhaps for the first time we see a vision of our new life. And I hope that vision you see today. That's out of the basic text, page 35. And it goes on to say, in our addiction, our vision of ourself was very limited. Each day we went through the same routine, getting, using, and finding ways and means to get more. And that's all we could reasonably expect for the duration of our lives. Our potential was limited. Today, our prospects are changed. Recovery has given us a new vision of ourselves and our lives. We know we are no longer trapped in the endless gray routine of addiction. We are free to stretch ourselves in new ways, trying out new ideas and new activities. In doing so, we come to see ourselves in a new way. Our potential is limited only by the strength of the higher power that cares for us, and that strength has no limit. In recovery, life and everything in it appears open to us, guided by our spiritual principles, driven by the power given us by the God of our understanding. Our horizons are limitless. So just for today, I will open my eyes to the possibility before me. My potential is as limitless and powerful as the God of my understanding. Today, I will act on that potential.
That's awesome. As you were saying, the God of my understanding, like I keep wanting to, start claiming the flying spaghetti monster.
That's
my God. That's my higher power.
That's awesome.
Well, no, I like that. I like that. Finding the strength. Like I said the other day, I find a lot of strength in vulnerability. Being open and honest about my emotions, not being like, there's no more resistance. I don't have any resistance. Like if I'm feeling something, I am allowed to feel, and that's powerful, really powerful, whether they're good or bad. And I feel that has definitely come from having a conscious contact with the flying spaghetti monster.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, brother. Well, the show is yours. I'm going to let you jump on into that book. I will pull you on screen fully so you can have it. The show is yours, and I will still be here. And If you need me to jump in, just ask me a question, or if I hear something, I'll pop back in as well.
Okay.
All right, brother.
All right. Good evening. Bookmark. Okay, so last time And I feel alone, all alone.
I'm right.
So last
Not alone.
so the last time I read out of the book, I gave a breakdown of it. It's the Connected Child, written by Karen Purvis and David Cross, both PhDs, possessing PhDs, and it is a book about trust-based relational intervention for specifically written for parents who have welcomed children from other countries and cultures, from troubled backgrounds, and with special behavioral or emotional needs. They go into a lot about how it's children from hard places, mainly the six. Thanks, Merck. Mainly, like the six big ones are stressful pregnancy, premature birth, early hospitalizations, abuse, neglect, and trauma. It changes the brain chemistry, and it changes the way that we have to deal with these children from hard places. And I feel that it's relevant to our addict community, because I would say that addictive behaviors, broken homes, where all of this chaos and craziness come in, would create children from hard places, and I see it a lot. Like I see it quite often. Children who develop sensory processing disorders, like will freak out over something that you can't make any sense of, or like I don't know. One of my children is super violent at school, and it makes a lot of sense. Like the TBRI system, it makes a lot of sense. Some kid would bump into him in the lunch line, and he'd punch this kid in the mouth. Like, why did that feel warranted? Potentially because his nervous system was overactivated, and he felt like that kid hit him. Like that kid punched him, even when it was just like a brush. So his parasympathetic nervous system was activated. So fight, flight, or freeze, he is predisposed to fight. So,
on that note, real quick, it is time for the one, the only Cassie Weaver. You're muted.
Gosh darn it, I was on my intro song. Get it down, too. Look at you. I love you. What's up, Drake?
What up? Why are you like?
Today? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a little, just in that little kind of funky mood today. And you're kind of, you're fun to be funky with. Now, do you have makeup on?
Look at the camera.
Oh my goodness. Hey.
Oh, you're wearing makeup now?
I see that.
You're eating candy canes.
And she's a savage. You saw that shirt, so watch out. She ditches school and everything.
Yeah, she does.
Great dance. Hi, sweetness. You are. Wait. Oh, tell me the name. Wait, where are you going, cutie? Come back.
Come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
Hi. How are you? What's your name?
Good.
Good. Right?
Drake.
Drake. I knew it. All
He's
right,
embarrassed.
Drake, I see you. It's okay.
What?
You said, how are you doing?
Oh, and then she asked what your name was. She said, "What's your name, sweetness?"
How are you?
Okay.
So cute. I love it. Don't worry. I'm going to give you a quick kiss at the end of the show there, Drake. Got one saved up for you.
She got a kiss for you, Drake. You got pretty ladies trying to kiss you. How do you feel? Backs out of room slowly.
Silence. I love it. You guys are awesome. Where's Felice? Wait a minute. Why is she not in the camera?
She just got here. Something's there.
Say hi to Felice. Hi, Felice. How are you?
I love you.
Love you too. You're so sweet.
Almost.
Nice.
She went shopping.
Okay.
So we got this new thing. Let me tell you real quick before you jump into the quote.
Yeah.
Link has been in love with cooking lately, right? So we found a cookbook. He finds the ingredients. We go shopping for the ingredients, and then he prepares a meal. And we're gonna have him do that once a week. Tonight is his trial night, and
Okay.
the next week he's gonna pick an ingredient. We're going to film it, and we're starting his own YouTube channel.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, Sling Tie, you
Awesome.
got this. Yes, that's right. Take a bow.
What are you
ahead
gonna
of
call
time.
it?
Cooking and comedy.
I cannot wait. And is that the name of your YouTube channel? Do you have that down? Is it Cooking and Comedy?
It will
That's the
be.
name of it?
We're
Okay,
gonna try
awesome.
for it. Thank you,
I love
Marilyn.
it. Yay, I'm super excited. You got this, Linky.
Thank you.
So wait, what's tonight? The trial night is what?
What are you making tonight?
We're making fried chicken and mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah, that's what
And
I'm
gravy.
talking about.
Hey, let me know when you start roasting vegetables. I'd like a Brussels sprouts with like potatoes, like roasted in like an olive oil.
There you go. And some broccoli. But wait, the Brussels sprouts, you can actually put Brussels sprouts in honey and sriracha sauce. Amazing.
I made this anyway. I made these Brussels sprouts one night. They were fantastic. Roasted Brussels sprouts with a honey Dijon reduction.
See, there's something about Brussels sprouts. When you add something to them, they're fabulous.
They're fabulous by themselves.
I add
don't
them to
know
the.
about that.
I add Brussels sprouts to the trash can. They taste the best in there.
LT, you have kids watching. You have children watching. Shame on you.
Brussels sprouts are delicious.
They are yummy with something on them.
It took me a while to be able to eat them though because of the Night of the Body Snatchers.
Here you go with the movie stuff again.
Brussels sprouts were pod people.
Jeanette says, I just want to say thanks to Recovering Addict. I grew the balls to talk with my therapist today about dissecting my childhood. Starting next week, I have no idea how to even bring it up myself, so I asked her just to start asking me questions and dive into it. Awesome.
Yay,
That is
good for you.
fantastic.
Take that leap. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, so this will go right into that. So, self-awareness doesn't stop you from making mistakes. It allows you to learn from your mistakes.
Ooh,
That is
Right?
awesome.
that's so true.
Yay.
Awareness.
That goes into a lot of what we've discussed tonight.
See, I have like this telepathic thing that I know it.
Yeah.
What am I thinking?
Go call me later. I'm going. I love you, Drake. I love you. Kisses for you, Drake. That was.
Great, you got kisses.
Come do my heart, Drake. Come in, real quick.
He's not even here. Drake.
Okay. All right, there you are, Felice. I'll get Felice. Everybody. All right, bring it together, and we're gonna continue to spread that love. Love you guys so much.
Yeah.
Come on. Good
Love
night.
you. Bye. Awesome. All right, enough goofing off. Let's get back to recovery. Jeez.
Bookmark.
Hope you guys aren't laughing out there. There's no fun in recovery.
We are not a glum lot.
Right? Fried chicken. Yeah.
Yeah. So, where was I? Oh, so again, this system, it boasts a 99.98% success rate for changing a child from a hard place's developmental trajectory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, it's 20 years of research and development. So,
There's more. I was going to take it to the freezer. Are you eating it?
so I'll just read. Real quick, I'll just back up just a little bit. It says, as much as we might wish for a quick answer, no single treatment works perfectly with all at-risk children. However, through our own research with families during the past 10 years, we know that a multidisciplinary approach can help many youngsters transform into happier, well-adjusted family members who are a delight to their parents. The key is to treat the whole child, and that is, the mental, the emotional, the physical, all of it, because you can't help your child if you're focused on the behavioral, or if you're focused on the emotional or the neurochemical, or any of that stuff. So for the best results, you need to disarm your child's fear response. Establish clear and sensitive parental authority. Provide a sensory rich environment, whether that's, fluffy pillows or like super soft blankets or, a trampoline. There's a lot. We'll get into that a little bit later, but teach appropriate social skills, support healthy brain chemistry, help your child connect with his or her own feelings. That's a big one. Don't think, don't feel. Like we need to encourage our children to experience their emotions and teach them how to express them appropriately. Forge a strong emotional bond between you and your child. The biggest component of this is creating a relationship of love and trust. And that is where a lot of my success with my children comes from, is I have that bond, I have that relationship. I don't have to correct my children in their behaviors, like occasionally, very occasionally, but it's, I don't know, I don't have problems. I don't have problems with my kids anymore. And if I do, I have a system, I have a process that, with Drake, we sit down and we go through, to help him to help him regulate.
That's one of the things I beat myself up for, is because I have 4 kids. My 2 oldest ones were, raised with my personality, which was an addictive personality, not beating fear into them, but, just that addictive personality. What's dad going to be like next? And then I turned into a drunk, and they got to experience me being a neglectful, walking on eggshells, drunk kind of guy. And then right at the very beginning of my sobriety, they both moved to Washington to live with their mom. So I haven't had a chance to be around them in recovery to try to mend and restore things that I broke. And that's one thing that's just always weighing heavy on my heart now. You know what I'm saying? That I have to battle. But yeah, it's kind of the stuff we sow, right?
Yeah. But then just having the self-awareness and being able to set your own ego aside to even admit that is a big deal. And that's what I feel like that was the struggle for a while. Was I had a lot of guilt, and I did a lot of guilt parenting, and I don't do that anymore because I live in a different way. And like, my guilt is driving me to do this, to let go of how I feel about what I did, put that shame away, and just get better. Like, I'm not beating myself up for being a junkie or being an asshole or any of that stuff. Like, it's in the past. We don't dwell on the past nor wish to shut the door on it. Like, I take that very seriously when it comes to raising my boys. So like, I'm going nuts about this TBRI system, but I'm just going to get right back into it. So compassion as your touchstone. We'd like you to visualize a scene. Imagine that you raised your own healthy biological child in a loving home until he was 4. Then someone kidnapped him and you didn't know if he was dead or alive for 3 long years. Wow, that got really dark. During those years, your baby boy was starved and abused. When he is finally mercifully returned to you at the age of 7, he is more like a wild and frightened animal than the curious and playful little boy you knew. Grateful to have him back and sensitive to his suffering, you focus on doing whatever he needs to heal from his trauma. You don't take him to the amusement park on his first day home or bundle him off to daycare within a week. You know that he needs weeks and months of daily nurturing and retraining to comfort, guide, and heal him from that harmful experience. Although the scenario we've described may sound extreme, adopted and foster children deserve similar compassion. The lives that many of them have endured were more difficult than we can fathom. With compassion, you can look inside your child's heart and recognize the impairments and deep fear that drive maladaptive behavior. Fears of abandonment, hunger, being in an unfamiliar environment, losing control, and being hurt. Compassion helps us to have more realistic expectations and understand that a child isn't necessarily being willful or belligerent. He is just trying to survive the best he can within his mental limitations and social understanding. Compassion will help you be tolerant of a child's deep neediness and to be forgiving when he or she doesn't understand something that seems so basic, like how to sit at a dining room table with a family, how to use toilet paper, or how to read people's facial expressions. Compassion will help you forgive a child for being manipulative because you understand that before she came to you or family, she had to survive by her wits, and manipulation is a learned survival technique. Keeping compassion as our reference point encourages us to have the patience and stamina to keep trying on the toughest days. Deep down, these children want desperately to connect and succeed, but don't understand how. As parents, it's our job to show them.
I want to read this real quick. Yeah. Oh, go ahead and you can read it. Go ahead, brother.
I needed to hear this tonight. We just lost my stepdad, who was the rock of our family. He's who took over on raising my daughter when I went to prison and all 5 treatment centers I've been to. We are all going through it, but I've realized why my daughter has been reacting in the aggressive way she has, because she's testing me to see if I'm here to stay. I'm coming up on 3 years of sobriety and I've had her back for 2.5, and I'm slowly learning. I've slowly learned to allow my daughter to go through it in her
own way.
In her way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel you there. Good job on 3 years of sobriety.
Yeah.
And yeah, she probably is testing you. You know, she probably, maybe you disappeared and she's waiting for that pain again. But I'm proud of you for going through it. Good job.
Yeah. Because deep down, these children want desperately to connect and succeed, but don't understand how. As parents, it's our job to show them. So like speaking about the read people's facial expressions, there for a while, as Drake's been going through therapy, his therapist started to see a lot of signs of autism. And because there was a social disconnect, he wasn't able to look at a situation and recognize the social cues and put together what was going on there. So she actually asked me to have him go and get tested. So I took him to an occupational therapist, but over the last 9 months, those symptoms have started to go away. His math has improved. His reading has improved. Being able to decipher complex social situations, like that ability has vastly increased. And it's the stability. These children need stability, So I can totally understand your daughter acting in that aggressive way. I can't remember your name. It was very brief. But like my son had environmental autism there for a while because of the abuse and the neglect and the trauma from being in an addictive home. So like there is definitely hope and healing. So the next section is called A Bridge to the World. When an infant is born with a condition such as cerebral palsy, the mother can be ferocious in getting care for her child. It is that child and her mother against the world. They are a team. The parents know that the child's issues are not a personal assault on them. The child certainly didn't intend to be palsied. But with children who suffered prenatal or early trauma before adoption, those lines get blurred. This child won't look obviously disabled or impaired, so his disruptive behavior can feel like an assault. Then it becomes a vicious cycle. The harmed or impaired child either acts out by screaming, spitting, biting, hitting, or lying, or acts in by withdrawing, hiding, running away, getting depressed and sullen, or becoming unresponsive. Some children actually do both at different times. You might retaliate with punishments or isolation, and then your child re-experiences her original abandonment, rejection, and loneliness all over again. She feels trapped and continues to make poor choices. At-risk children can easily feel alienated and cornered, alone against the world. Feeling that way, it is almost guaranteed that they will come out fighting, manipulating, or fleeing. Then the only adult attention they receive is endless scolding and punishment. Soon this dysfunctional dynamic becomes a habit, and the children learn to seek familiar and available attention by acting out. What a scary and miserable way to live. So I started this thing that when Drake decides that, well, when Drake becomes in a deregulated state, when his emotions become too great and he doesn't know how to feel, he doesn't know how to like calm himself down. It's like just a quick example. I would ask him to do vacuum. He didn't want to vacuum, and it would take him hours to vacuum. And so I used to go to your room. You don't want to vacuum, go to your room. You can come out of your room as soon as you decide to vacuum. Like, so it's entirely up to you. And I thought that I was doing a good thing there. But what I have discovered that is sending him to his room, in his mind, I don't want to deal with the situation. So he goes to his room and he's isolated, where I want to create that connection and I want to build that trust with him. So now we do time ins. In the rare occasions that he becomes deregulated to a point that it is causing a disruption in the home, I have him, okay, Drake, here's a chair in the kitchen. I'm going to be in the kitchen. I'm cooking dinner or I'm doing the dishes or whatever it is that I'm doing. I keep him in the room with me and just he'll cross his arms. I'll point out his body language. I'll point out his breathing, his posture, and be like, okay. Like, and we'll talk about it. And then as time would pass, when I felt that he was a little bit calmer, okay, Drake, let's go sit in the living room, and then we'll sit in chairs, and I'll sit down at his eye level, and I will adopt a calm posture, and I will ask him questions. What does my body language tell you? What is your body language telling me? And we'll go back and forth, and he's still pissed. He's still pissed. But over time, and it takes time. There is a definite investment in time. And over time, as I teach him to self-regulate and I teach him to just simply match my posture, it's going to take less time, So another point was, what was it? Scripts. Like, instead of lecturing, these long-winded explanations, we run scripts. So if I need his attention, Drake, pause. He'll stop what he's doing and he'll make eye contact. So, and then Drake, pause, dinner. Pause, bath time. That reminds me. Get in the bathtub! Pause, put your laundry away. Just I know it feels like you're giving commands to a dog, but our children with those types of histories, they can't process that many words according to this system. And I also use strength-based parenting. Like, I've had to learn how to discipline with love instead of what was installed in me to go right to anger or physical discipline. And I've gotten much better results as well as trust. Like, perfect. Positive strength-based parenting is great. I love it. So now when I need something from Drake, pause, or shut it down. It's bedtime. Brush teeth. Pause. Let's brush teeth. Things like that. And hell, I do it with Cameron too. And like if I notice that he's about to get upset, playful engagement. Quick, playful, boop, boop, boop. Bring him back to center, and our day can continue. Like it's a lot. I know that I'm just getting off topic, but we only have like 4 minutes, and this next section is where we go. Okay, so I will correct, Cherie. Correct. Like we could, but it's ill-advised to speak to our children, our younger children, as though they were grown adults. And sometimes I catch myself using this system with grown adults. And the results work. It works out pretty good, actually. It works out pretty good. Running scripts on grown-ass people.
Well, it's kind of funny because as children, we look up to adults, right? Like, man, one day I'm going to be smart and have all my stuff together. And, you're looking around the classroom and there's a bunch of, everybody's running their lives just like a bunch of idiots. And then you wake up an adult one day and realize nothing's changed. We're all still just a bunch of kids inside. We've learned a little bit more, but not much has changed from childhood. We're still the same people, still running things exactly the same. You got,
Yeah, and I see a lot of that, so it's when I find myself working with, addicts, I ask a lot of questions and I keep the questions short and I try to keep my responses to their answers short, because I'm just here there to listen, How did that make you feel? Because it's a client's right to self-determination. It's not my job to tell them this is what you did, this is why you did it, da 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 da. Because I could be the smartest person on the planet, but that doesn't mean that I fully understand what they are doing. I have some pretty good ideas, but it's not my place to psychoanalyze somebody and give them a bullet point presentation for their life,
Yeah.
Although I have done that, I will admit I have done that, and the results were not good. People don't like it when you tell them their behavior. So you have a unique opportunity to change that scenario by building a bridge to the world for your at-risk adoptive children or your own children. You and the rest of your family can become a safe haven and an ally, eager to share their concerns. We encourage you to have the mindset that it's you and your child facing the world, ready to resolve whatever problems arrive. Convey your deep alliance not only in words, but through body language, posture, and voice. We suggest you look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I shaking my finger at her? Is my jaw set and are my hands on my hips in an aggressive posture? What message is my child taking at the primitive level? Is it the child against me, or is it her and me together? Like there's a lot more, but that it goes into, but it's all about your reaction in developing the system. Sitting down, like getting down to the child's eye level, like if you got bad knees, you better get some knee braces because you're going to be on your knees talking to your kids or sitting in chairs or doing something, because up here looking down, it seems condescending, even if you have that loving tone in your voice. Drake responds so much better when I'm talking to him, when I drop down and look him in his eyes. So there's just so much. There's so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. All right. Well, that's 1 hour sober. 1 hour we did not use, and all that good stuff. Great stuff, Jake. I'm excited for this. And with
You want to? Can you put a link to this book in the description?
I did.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I'll put one in the Discord as well. I'll put it under, I'm going to do it right this very second. So if you are in there, I will put it under the recovery content. The link is Drizopt Rizite Nezau.
Do we want to maybe put a book room in there?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yep. We'll put that in there tonight.
Then we can put the It'll Never Happen to Me, Drop the Rock, all the other books that you've read.
Yeah. I'll definitely do that. I'll start working on that tomorrow probably.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a second. Cool. Well, that's the top of the hour. And maybe with the new schedule, we could do another live stream a night with that book. I like it.
I like that book.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking about it, if I can manage it, getting another cam link. So.
Oh yeah, up the professionality. Cool. All right, y'all.
Well, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Like I'm holding it.
Yeah, put them off screen. We'll hold like that.
Oh, this way.
Perfect. Too far.
There it is.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, that's weird.
God, grant me the serenity
Serenity
to accept the
to
things
accept
we cannot
not
change,
change.
the courage to change,
Courage to change the things we can.
and the wisdom.
Wisdom to know the difference.
Amen.
Amen.
Awesome. Everybody's loving it. Good evening, Link. Heart you, John. You were right. I was wrong. Phenomenal stuff, Jake. Thank you, bro. Petey says, great night, Jake. Thanks a lot. Great advice.
Oh, is he posting the Venture Forward on the YouTube, John?
I know he posts it in the Discord, and I've seen it on Facebook. Now that I'm home, I'm going to try to get more involved with John and his and involved in his comments and helping him out a little bit.
Because I missed his show today. I wanted to watch that one because there was that trauma and the pandemic and how the blah 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 blah. If John wants to drop a link or a quick description to that.
He says yes, Facebook and YouTube. You can drop that in the Discord too, John, if you want. However you feel, or whatever you want to. But yeah, I definitely want to start listening to John's podcast more now that I'm freed up at that hour. I should be able to. So, unless I'm working out.
When are we going to train, dude?
I'm down, dude. We train every day.
I have to work and shit.
Yeah.
Same.
Cool. All right. I'll talk to you here in a second, Jake, about all that. But until Sunday night, you guys want to tune in Sunday night because if you've heard of them, I'm sure you have. Some of you have, some of you haven't, but they're called Meet the Mungavins. They're the Mungavins out of Philadelphia. They're a couple that do their own little live show on Facebook, and they're going to join us. They've been on the show before, and we're going to get another update. And then I'm going to have a few more special guests, and I'm just going to say it right now. John V., I was going to ask you next if you wanted to be on a Sunday night show, so we'll talk about that offline. But this Sunday is going to be Meet the Mungavins. They're going to come back, give us another update. They're about to have a baby, just had a baby or something like that. So until then, that'll be Sunday. Do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover better together.